I want you to see these excuses because I really think that this is where the rubber meets the road of our walk with God and our fellowship with Him and how grace transforms us. It empowers us through humility. We need to humble ourselves and recognize ourselves in these three excuses. Look at the first one, verse number 18. He says, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. And so the first one was, hey, I bought a piece of land. I mean, wouldn't you want to go see where you're going to build your house? I mean, this is, I'm curious. I want to see it. I mean, listen, you've bought something before, right? I mean, come on, you get it, right? I'm not going to come because, after all, you would want to see your... And so that's the excuse. That's the first one. The second one is in verse 19. He says, well, I've bought 5 oxen. 5 yoke of oxen, so that's 10 oxen total. And he says, I want to go and prove them. I haven't even test driven them. I want to make sure they work. I want to make sure. After all, I have to feed my family. And after all, I want to make sure I didn't get ripped off. And I just want to see. Wouldn't you want to do that? And so he's making this excuse. And then the last excuse is in verse 20. He says, I have married a wife and I cannot come. Okay, I get that one. I get the one. He just married his wife, so... No, what was Jesus just making up like 3 random examples? No. And I will tell you, God convicted me so much when I read these because I have used these excuses over and over again. And if we're honest, we fall in love with an idol and with a lie. And these are the 3 idols that keep us from close fellowship with Jesus. Number 1, the idol of possessions. Now, friends, I hope God blesses you. I hope God blesses your business that you work in. I hope God blesses your family. I hope you can buy a new car. I hope by the end of 2026, you're flush. I hope that, okay? But let me tell you, if you're not careful, if I'm not careful, the possessions we're longing for, when we hold on to them too tightly, they start holding on to us. I'm telling you, greed is a dangerous, dangerous thing. And listen, money's not a problem. If God blesses you with money, that's great. But the love of money is a problem. Listen, when good things, like things and money, possessions, become main things, they're idols. They become the wrong things. And so don't put a good thing in God's place. And so, man, we can get trapped into the trap of materialism, and we really are pushing. And I will tell you, some of you that have had some things in the past, you'll look at that car, and you'll look at that house, and you'll look at those things, and you'll say, man, if I could just get that, it would make me feel a certain way. And how many of you know you get it, and you feel that way for that long? And so, listen, that idol of possessions, many times it can be an excuse for why we're not encountering God's grace like He has called us to. Listen, He wants you to sit at His table. He wants you to seek Him. He wants you to live a life focused on Him. But if we're focused on possessions, many times we don't. The next one is the one that I struggle with the most, if I'm just being honest with you. It's the idol of production. If you know me, I'm a doer. Man, I get up and I want to get things done. And man, I want to check things off my list. I'm doing ministry and I'm doing things. And I'm like really, really wanting to get things done. And I'm a driver and I'm a doer. I want to tell you that sometimes we can get so wrapped up in our self-effort and so wrapped up in what we're doing and getting our emails down and getting our to-do list done that we forget the work of grace is not through self-effort. The work of grace is by grace alone. And there's some things that only God can do when we say, hey, I can't do it. I can't do it. And so this week I've had to say, hey, listen, God, I'm going to do what I can do, but you know what? I'm going to rest in your grace. Some of us, man, we have trouble even sleeping because we can't shut our minds off because we're constantly thinking about the next thing. And if we're not careful, we will worship at the idol of a career even if it's ministry, because we think that if we accomplish a certain task or if we accomplish a certain thing, that it will fulfill us. I want to tell you that grace strips away all of that. And it says that all of our worth is based on our new birth, and that God has come down and He has said, listen, you don't have to earn it. There's nothing you can lose. There's nothing you need to prove. That God's grace gives us the value we're searching for in possessions and in positions. And so listen, I'm all for getting things done. But if your worth is based on how much you get done, friend, what happens when your health fails you? What happens when the stock market goes down? What happens when your business doesn't do well? I'm just saying, man, if we worship that idol, it's a trap. And then I will tell you, I don't think there's an idol that is more worshiped than the idol of pleasure. Now, God created these good things. He created possessions. He created work. It's a good thing. He created pleasure. But I will tell you, outside of the context that God created pleasure to happen, and outside of the context specifically of marriage, I will tell you, self-pleasure can be damaging. I just want to be very upfront with you. And I feel like you're able to hear this with maturity. There is a younger generation that's coming up, and the vast majority, not everyone, but the vast majority of them are hooked on pornography. I want to tell you something, that God's grace frees you from that. And I'm saying right now that every man struggles with this, but I want to tell you something, that every person in this room needs to come to the foot of the cross and say, I'm no longer going to worship at the idol of pleasure. And I can make an excuse.